What is going on, YouTube? Joe here with Cullination Media, and welcome back for another live Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Wi-Fi battle against subscriber/follower on Twitter. Today we're going up against Leo here, aka Toad, in a PU battle, and we're bringing the same ridiculous team that we brought last time with a Farfetch'd and a Lady, and I have no idea how we managed to win a battle with the team, but I will take it because it's probably going to be the only one, and that's okay. But anyway, it's a lot of fun to use. And, yeah, I'm just having fun with it, as I always do with PU. So, for those of you that don't know what we were running, we have a standard physically defensive Torkoal. It's going to be our Rapid Spinner and Stealth Rocker. Nothing fancy there. Especially defensive Ivysaur. That's the basic defensive core. Then we have our dual screens Ladian with Light Clay, of course. It's packing the Encore and U-Turn. And the Farfetch'd is going to be a Swords Dancing Acrobatic set with no item. Although Stick might be a little bit more useful for, you know, boosting that critical hit ratio. I just decided to go with something a little different and see how it works. I'm just kind of experimenting. I found that when I was testing this, I found that the dual screens really does help Farfetch'd, but you still need to be able to predict correctly, otherwise it just does not work. But I guess it's kind of like that for anything, so I don't know what I'm really trying to say there. Now, rounding out the team, we have our Choice Scarf, Francois, the Mr. Mime, and last but not least, we have a bulk up Floatzel, which, to be honest, throughout testing this team and everything, so far Fred has been the MVP, so that's kind of crazy, but I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it is, but it really is probably the best Pokemon on this team, but I don't know. That's not really saying too much because this team is crap. But anyway, looking at my opponent's team here, I see some threats going on. Flareon, if that's offensive, that is a big-time threat. And actually, this kind of looks like it could be a Sun team, or a semi-Sun team, because he's got Volbeat, Charmeleon, which does get the solar power, and you kind of need the solar power, to be honest, to be able to hit hard enough. So I'm assuming that's what it's going to be, and then Tropius could be like Harvest, and you know, Harvest its berry 100% of the time, or it could be Solar Power, or it could be Chlorophyll. So I guess we should try to figure out what set that is, because it could be like Dragon Dance, it could be Choiced in some fashion, it could be like a defensive set. I really don't know what to think about that. Very scary team though. The Rampardos too, that's a huge offensive problem. It's got base ridiculous attack, so we're gonna have to be on the lookout for that, and that's especially bad because its stab is not so good for our physically defensive Torkoal. So we're actually gonna lead off with the Torkoal here, and I'm expecting him to want to lead off with, oh, not this. I was expecting Volbeat actually, and now that I'm thinking about it, that Volbeat might not be a standard set. One of the times that I battled him, actually he's brought Volbeat a lot actually, but I know at least one of the times it was offensive, so it could be offensive Volbeat. I guess I will need to just keep that in my mind, and hopefully that doesn't screw me over later, but we'll see. I'm just going to go for Stealth Rock. I don't think he's going to want to stay in. I mean, and if he does, it's not going to kill me, whatever he's going to go for. Most likely, unless he's just like Choice Banded Head Smash, and if that's the case, I'm just dead as can be. But I don't know if he's going to want to risk that and then getting burned. But he's actually going to show off the Rock Slide here, so he is Sheer Force. We barely survived that with 3 HP. So he's definitely Sheer Force Life Orb. Without a doubt in my mind, that is what we are dealing with here. I actually got pretty lucky that Ralph survived that, and we were able to get off the Stealth Rocks. And now Ralph is basically fodder, to be completely honest. And I think I'm going to sacrifice him here. Actually, no, I don't know if I'm going to sacrifice him here. I'm going to Protect, I think. I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, I can probably scare him out with a few things on my team, because I'm assuming he's not going to want to take a lot of damage on this thing, so I can very easily go out into something like Ivysaur, which, you know, the fact that I'd be bringing out could be indicative of it being physically defensive, or, you know, able to survive a hit. So we might be able to scare him out that way. And, you know, get some Stealth Rock damage racking up on his team, because his team does not like that at all. He's got the Tropius and the Charmeleon and the Volbeat, none of which enjoy Stealth Rocks. But he opts to stay in, I guess, at this point, because, I mean, looking at my team, to be fair, what do I have to switch in? I've got 1, 2, 3 things weak to rock, no resist, and unless I have like physically defensive Ivysaur or something, you know, that could be a huge problem. Now, after this, I could very easily go out into my Floatzel and scare it out with a waterfall. The question is, do I want to sack Ralph to get a safe switch into something? And the answer is, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I have much of a choice, though. I think I'm going to have to sacrifice something. The question just becomes, do I want to sacrifice Torkoal or something else? And I think Torkoal's going to have to bite the dust here, so he's just going to stay in a Rock Slide again. I could hope for a miss, but, you know, it's 90% accuracy, so what are the chances of that? It's not very high, so Torkoal's going to go down there, and that really stinks. But at least we were able to get up those rocks. That will be essential for later on in the match, you know, reducing the amount of times that Volbeat, Charmeleon, and Tropius can switch in and out. If that Tropius turns out to be Harvest, then at least we can put some pressure on it before it, you know, gets all of its citrus nonsense back. Now, I've got a choice here. I can go out into Fred easily and just waterfall him, and he would have to switch in something, and it would probably be Tropius, although I could scare him with a potential Ice Beam / Ice Punch, depending on whether he thinks I'd be physical or not. But I can very easily also just go out into Ivysaur. If I go out into it, I'm assuming he's going to think that it's physically defensive or able to take 1 hit, and I don't think he's going to want to take all that damage. And I can just go for Sludge Bomb because that hits just about everything on his team neutrally. So I can get solid damage off on something. Or I can just click Giga Drain, predicting him to want to stay in and click Fire Punch, which I'm assuming he has. And I already know that he's Life Orb, so he will be able to... I can't talk. He will be able to switch up his moves here. So I'm thinking Sludge Bomb is probably the better play. There's no way he's staying in. No way he's staying in. That would make no sense. He'd basically be sacrificing this thing. So yeah, we'll see what Vinia can do today. I hope he goes out into Tropius, honestly. You get a nice Sludge Bomb off on that. And, you know, if he's thinking he can use it as a pivot. Oh, he's just going to stay in and Fire Punch, and Vinia is dead. That is not a critical hit, because I'm not physically defensive. Why? I legitimately don't understand that play. I mean, he knows that I could have easily gone out into Floatzel if he's looking at my team. So, I don't know. Maybe he just thought I was bluffing there? I don't really know what to say. I kind of want to predict him to switch out again and go for Substitute, but because he didn't switch out against Ivysaur, I'm kind of worried that he might just stay in. So I don't know exactly what to think. That really threw me off. And that's terrible, too, because now we're missing my entire defensive core is gone, and this is turn, what, 3? 4? It's turn 4, right? Because he Rock Slided, and then I protected, then he Rock Slided again, got rid of Torkoal, and then, yeah, killed Ivysaur. Okay, that was a terrible way to start this battle. Why do I do that so often? I guess I just try to make predictions or, you know, try to make some plays early game, and some people don't like to do that. And I don't know. I don't know what to say, but we will see what he wants to do here. I'm sure now he'll want to switch. Yep, now he's going to switch. Okay. I'm not sure why. I don't know. I'm just going to stop thinking about it because I will beat myself up over that as he's going to go into Wilma, the Flareon. Again, not sure why he did that. If I went for Waterfall, that thing would be dead. I mean, unless it's physically defensive, and even still, a lot of Floatzels are Choice Banded. Choice Banded Waterfall was just going to destroy his life. Now, he could have been thinking that I was Choice Banded and was going to predict him to go out into Tropius, and, you know, expecting an Ice Beam there, so he was trying to lock me into the wrong move, which I guess is possible. So we should consider that much. But we have our free substitute up. We got a little bit of lefties recovery. Life is good right now. This thing can't do much to me. And so I don't know what he's going to want to do. If he's going to stay in and try to break my sub, or if he's going to switch again and just give me free boosts. Either way, this is going to put me in a fairly decent position. Fairly decent. And having the rocks up is great because depending on what the spread is on the Tropius, I might be able to 2 or 3 hit KO it. I mean, after rocks and a couple of boosts, which, I mean, really isn't saying too much, but it could be very important because that's one thing that is potentially going to stop a sweep. So he decides to stay in and just go for Flare Blitz. That is not going to break my sub. So Fred is in a fantastic position right now because he was able to get up a sub and a bulk up, and he's getting all that recovery back in lefties. Of course, Wilma, the male Flareon, is getting its lefties recovery too. But I'm assuming this is like specially defensive Flareon. Has to be specially defensive. I mean, a lot of times they carry Flamethrower, but it's got lefties, and it's Floatzel we're talking about. Floatzel is very frail, which is why it's such an unorthodox user of Bulk Up, in my opinion. You don't see frail Pokemon like that using moves like Bulk Up too often. But, yeah, I guess it works. And I guess it's dangerous. I really don't know. I was not expecting it to do much. I was actually expecting Farfetch'd to be able to do a little bit more, and Farfetch'd has done nothing. But that's just me. So I'm just going to get greedy right here and set up another Bulk Up because, you know, what is he going to do? He's just going to continually Flare Blitz. Now it'll probably break the sub because he already did get that one hit off on me. So we'll see here. Yes, Fred Substitute faded. So I can be okay with that after absorbing one hit. But now I know that several hits will be required to break the sub at this point. So that is good news for me. What I'm worried about is whether or not that Volbeat set is going, if he's going to be like a prankster standard shenanigan thing, or if he is going to be offensive. If he is the prankster set and he has Encore, that could be an issue if I'm just spamming Bulk Up and Substitute and everything. So I actually want to prevent any status moves here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for Taunt. In case he wants to Wish, or I don't know, or if he wants to switch into something that can potentially cripple me. I just would like to prevent any non-attacking moves at this point. And he actually stays in and goes for Sunny Day. Okay, so this is his weather setter. So it is entirely possible then that Volbeat is offensive indeed. I know he likes offensive Volbeat. I know he has used it before. And so I would not be surprised to see that at all. Like Sun Boosted Fire Punch. I don't know what good that would really do you, but it's good for other bug types, I guess? Question mark. But we're back up to full HP now, which is absolutely amazing. And he was not able to get up Sun, which was going to severely hamper my ability to fire off boosted waterfalls. It would pretty much just return my power to normal, basically. But we said no to that. Fred is not about that life. Unfortunately, this does mean that he knows my entire moveset at this point. He has to know that I would have some kind of stab. I've shown him Substitute, Bulk Up, and Taunt now. So I'm assuming he's expecting either Waterfall or Aqua Jet. Because I did show Lefty, so he may think that I am a slower variant. Because even a slow Floatzel will outspeed Flareon because it's so slow. So he's actually going to withdraw here. And he's going to go out into his... I don't want to try to pronounce that. We're just going to call it Tropius. And it's going to take 25% due to the Stealth Rocks, of course. And it's not quite going to take enough damage from that waterfall for me to want to stay in, which is really sad. I thought I might be able to inch out the 2-hit KO there, but that is not going to be the case. Now, I could come back in later on and set up on that Flareon, but I'm going to have to work around predicting the sunny days and trying to prevent that or either burn off the turns. I feel like this is going to be a long battle. And, I mean, if it's not a long battle, then I'm just going to get destroyed because I'm already behind the 8-ball. I lost my entire defensive core, and things are not looking too great for me other than the fact that I have Stealth Rock up at this point, and I'm about to lose momentum, so that's not so good. I could Substitute here, and I think I am going to do that. I want to see what this thing has. Is he going to Dragon Dance? If he Dragon Dances, I will attack him here. Energy Ball. Okay, so he's special, which I guess makes sense. Tropius's special attack might actually be higher than its physical attack by a little bit. I know it's close. I'm just not sure which one is barely higher than the other. Not that it really matters. They're both low. So he might be choice in some way. That would be interesting. If he's choice, he's probably not harvest. Well, not probably. He's not harvest. There's no way he's running a choice item in harvest. He's got to be either solar power or chlorophyll. And it would help to know which one of those it is, because if the sun is up, he could potentially revenge kill things if he is chlorophyll. And that is a bit scary. Although he's also weakened, so we have that working for us. And he would take another 25% coming back in. I want to say that he's choiced. And either way, I think he's going to go for Energy Ball again here. So I am going to make the switch. Going to give up my boost with Fred there and take this opportunity to get Ladiant in to get off some screens and potentially get Farfetch'd in to start dishing out some major damage to things. His team does not like flying type moves from what I can see. So that is something that we could use to our advantage. Now, do I use Light Screen in case he's not choice and he has something else for me? Or do I just go for Reflect, trying to predict what he might go into? He might go into, like, Flareon again to try to get some wishes happening. If he does that, I could just Encore him too. Actually, if he does go into Flareon, I will not be able to stop him from setting up the sun. But I would be able to Encore him into that and at least force a switch and burn another turn. But anyway, I'm just talking out the wazoo here. We will see how he wants to play this at this point. I'm expecting him to not want to stay in, honestly. I'm pretty sure he is choiced in some way. I'm just not sure what it is. If he's Chlorophyll, he's probably Specs. If he is Solar Power, he could be Scarf. I really don't know. But he is going to go back out into the Flareon as I do get up my Reflect. That should save me from Flare Blitz killing, unless this thing is offensive with lefties and Sunny Day, which I guess is a possibility. I don't want to just rule things out completely. Do I want to just U-turn? Do I want to Light Screen? He's most likely going to set up the Sunny Day here, so I can Light Screen as he does that. And then I'm assuming he's going to want to switch after that, so I could use the U-turn on the following turn to gain some momentum, possibly, which I desperately need. I really do need some momentum going here. I need to get some damage off on some things. I really need to poke a little bit of a hole in his team. So I'm going to set up the Light Screen as he does, in fact, set up the Sunny Day. At least we know it's only going to last 5 turns. He does not have the Heat Rock because he showed lefties like 10 times already. Even though later on I'll probably be like, oh, how many turns has it been? It needs to be 8 because he definitely had Heat Rock, because that's what I do. I see things and then say that it's the complete opposite, like less than 5 minutes later. I'm good like that. What can I say? What can I say? So we will see how he wants to respond now. I'm assuming he's going to want to switch out, or maybe he could just Flare Blitz me. Assuming that's, you know, the Sunny Day will counteract the Reflect being up. And Flareon still hits like a truck. But anyway, I'd opted to go for the Encore here, as he does decide to stay in and try to Flare Blitz me, and that's not going to work. So we burn an extra turn of Sun, and he'll only have 2 left after this following turn because he is most likely going to want to switch, not just spam Sunny Day. It's not like Sunny Day has a lot of PP to waste anyway. So yeah, I'm assuming he'll want to come back in and set up the Sun eventually again, if he can. And, I mean, the Stealth Rocks could limit his ability to do that, but because he has leftovers and I'm assuming some recovery like Wish or something, he might just get that chance. He may just get that chance indeed. So we will see here what he wants to do. I feel like I'm saying that a lot. We will see. Every turn it's we will see. My gosh, can't you think of any other transitions, Joe? What is wrong with you? Learn to speak your native language. Use some variety. Sheesh. He is going to switch here, so he's taking Flareon out of the action, does not want to be encored in the Sunny Day, and I don't blame him, as he is going to go into Volbeat. I think this is offensive. Why else would he switch this in with the sunlight already up? So we're going to get a decent chunk of damage off on this thing, which is great. And I think that with a Reflect Up, because he's probably Choice Banded, or he's got to be physical if he is... Well, no, not necessarily. I guess he could be Tail Glow. He's probably physical. He's probably physical Volbeat. This is as good a time as I'm going to get to go into Farfetch'd. Now, I know the standard Volbeat carries Encore and it carries Thunder Wave, and both of those are a problem for Farfetch'd. And honestly, if he's banded, you know, Ice Punch / Thunder Punch or whatever he would carry would not be so good for Farfetch'd either. But with the Reflect Up, I feel like I should be able to take a couple of hits. So knowing this and knowing that he could be hit with a Brave Bird right here, I'm assuming he's going to want to switch. So I'm going to Swords Dance. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I don't think he's going to want to stay in and take a potential Acrobatics / Brave Bird. Because even if he wants to T-Wave me, he'd be dead. He would be dead. He is going to stay in T-Wave. Okay, then. Fair enough. So, he is the standard, I guess. I guess this is standard Volbeat. That really stinks. So, I'm assuming he's carrying Weather, too, and the Heat Rock, then. I got myself all tripped up thinking this was going to be a different Volbeat. That is not good, because now he's just going to Encore me. And I could switch predicting that, but just in case he over-predicts or just doesn't go for it, I'm just going to click Acrobatics. I mean, if he either doesn't have it or he does switch, something is most likely going to die. And maybe I should go for Knockoff. Acrobatics is my most powerful move, but if he switches in something, it could be nice to get rid of an item. I'm just going to go for Acrobatics. Get some damage off on somebody. That is the goal. That is the goal, ladies and gents. Please don't go for Encore. I don't know why I thought this was going to be some kind of, like, outlandish Volbeat, and I guess it's just because he brought one before. But you are allowed to have more than one Volbeat, I guess. That's in the rules somewhere. But he's just going to Encore me into Swords Dance, so Farah is not going to get any action this time. She is completely neutered. She's at +4, but that doesn't really help us. Does not really help at all. And now we're pretty much forced to switch or just sacrifice this thing. I don't necessarily want him going into something and setting up, especially because even if I break out of my Encore, I'm still paralyzed. So I'm just wasting screens turns here. This is not good. This is not good. I don't have anything for this. I do not have anything. This puts me in a real bind because I don't want Fred or Francois, the Mr. Mime, to be paralyzed. Their speed is going to be very important for the end of the battle, I'm thinking. So, I really don't have any switch-ins. I would love to just sacrifice this thing, but if he's just the normal... You know what? He's not going to go for Thunder Wave. He's not going to go for T-Wave predicting me to switch, I don't think. He's going to U-turn. Or wait a minute, did the sun fade? If the sun faded... Yeah, I think it did. Maybe he'll go for Sunny Day. No, he's going to U-turn. Okay. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just not on the planet. I have no idea what's going on. This is just not good. I don't have a good feeling about this one. I do not have a good feeling. I had a couple of chances to do things that would get me ahead, and I just didn't take advantage of it, and I thought my opponent was going to for sure do one thing, and it was not the case. Now, this happens every once in a while, and a lot of times you're able to recover from it. It's not always the end of the world if you lose a couple of Pokemon, or even if you drop down, 3 or 4 Pokemon behind early on. Obviously, it puts you behind, but it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to lose the battle. But if you have a team with Ladian and Farfetch'd and bulk up Floatzel, it's going to be kind of difficult to claw yourself out of a hole like that. You need to play much better than you would with a different team. And the fact is, I'm just not doing that right now. So hopefully that changes. Hopefully we can put in some work with Floatzel here. So we have High Flyer, the Emolga coming out here, and this does not outspeed me. Now, he could be Choice Scarf, and that is a little bit scary. I don't know if he is. I mean, my only play here, I guess, is to either sacrifice something, but what am I trying to get a safe switch into? I'd probably go right back into Fred, because it's the only thing I have that outspeeds this other than Mr. Mime, and Mr. Mime, can't kill this. So I want to click Bulk Up really badly, predicting this thing to be physical, But if I guess wrong, I mean, that could be trouble. So I'm just going to bulk up. I'm taking a risk here again. If I get this one wrong too, then I'm in trouble. Now, I mean, I guess he could be special, but I don't think he would have to be specs to kill me. He probably is special. Go for Volt Switch. Predict me to want to switch. Go for the Volt Switch. Electro Ball. That is interesting. That really did not do too much because we didn't have the light screen up, and he's going to show off his Life Orb. I already knew he wasn't Scarf because I outsped him anyway, but we did get up to +1 here. This is good news for me because I can substitute here. Now, he may want to switch. He can't kill me regardless. Or I could just Waterfall for damage. Because I'm relatively safe in doing that too. So we have options here. We have options here, and so does my opponent. He doesn't have a lot of switch-ins anymore, unfortunately, to Floatzel, just because he took a lot of damage already on that Tropius, and I'm like 99% sure that it's not Harvest. Well, it already went down below half, so I would assume that it would have harvested already. Or it would have at least eaten its berry, not necessarily harvested. But Waterfall is just going to take out High Flyer here because Emolga's defenses are trash, to be honest. So that works out in our favor there. That could have been terrible. That could have been really terrible. But the light screen was helping us out there. So I had a little bit of a safety net going on, basically. He could hit me with a super effective attack, and because it was an Emolga, even Life Orb was not going to allow him to kill me off there. Now, granted, he went for Electro Ball, and Floatzel's faster. So, yeah, I'm expecting that to not do too much anyway. But now he has a choice on what he wants to go out into, and he's going to decide to go out into Volbeat to possibly get up the Sunny Day, possibly paralyze me. I think it's in my best interest to send out Farah again here, because I'm not going to make the same mistake again. I think it's already too late for Farah to be able to get a kill. Most likely, unless he's just going to sacrifice his Volbeat to get the Sunny Day up, which I guess would kind of make sense. I hope he goes for Thunder Wave here, though. That would be fantastic. That would be fabulous. Go for Sunny Day. Or, I'm sorry, not Sunny Day. Thunder Wave. That's what I wanted him to go for. Actually, it may have been better if he did go for Sunny Day, because that would have been an extra turn to burn off, because he's probably just going to go for it here. What use does he really have for this Volbeat? It's going to take more Stealth Rock damage the next time it comes in anyway, so I don't know that it would make a lot of sense for him to do it the other way around. But I'm just going to go for Acrobatics here, and we'll see what happens. It's possible that Farah just gets fully paralyzed and can't do anything. But we'll see if he wants to U-turn and get one more switch in, or if he wants to go for the Sunny Day. He does decide to go for the Sunny Day, so I'm assuming that's going to be up here for 8 turns now, because we haven't seen an item on this thing. And Farah is actually going to get a kill. Finally, Farfetch'd does something. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a sweep or really anything impressive. It's a super effective attack on a Volbeat that, you know, was at like 30% of its max HP remaining, so that's not really too impressive. But hey, Farfetch'd got a kill, right? We have to take what we can get. We have to take what we can get. So now we have 2 Pokemon down on the opposing side. So is it 4-4? I didn't lose another one, did I? Still have Mr. Mime alive, still have Floatzel, still have Farah, and I'm pretty sure I didn't sacrifice Ladian, so yeah. So we kind of clawed out of that a little bit, although Farfetch'd is about to get one-shotted by something. Just a matter of what he wants to go into. And he has that lovely Sunny Day up too, so all of his weather abusers are free to do whatever they want. At least for one turn, because Farfetch'd is not going to be doing too much. So he's going to go out into Wilma, and even if this is defensive, I am pretty sure that a Flare Blitz from a Flareon in the sun will take me out, because I am a Farfetch'd. And I don't think there's really any reason for me to save this. I do have Healing Wish on my Mr. Mime, and the reason that that's there is to give Farfetch'd a second chance, but it doesn't outspeed anything on my opponent's side. And I still don't know what that Tropius is. I don't know if it's Chlorophyll or not, and that could come into play here in the coming turns. But it's really just not going to do me any good to save this Farfetch'd, so I'm just going to sacrifice it And he does go for the Flare Blitz. I mean, Flareon has base, what, 130 attack? So even if it is defensive, yeah, Farfetch'd, you're not taking that unless screens are up. And even then, it would do a buttload of damage. So Farah goes down. I mean, at least she got a kill. We have to give her, you know, a little bit of credit. But still sad to see her go down. So now we have this Flareon here, just chilling. And I could go into Fred and burn a couple of turns of Sun by just substituting. I think I might be able to get up 3 subs, including leftovers recovery. The only thing is, what would he switch in? I guess he could switch in Tropius, but I think I can kill that with a waterfall. Well, no, not with the sun up. I can't. But I really don't have any other plays here. If this thing is specially defensive, which I'm thinking it could potentially be, a Psychic from Mr. Mime probably won't kill it. And Mr. Mime has such awful, abysmal, terrible, disgusting, grotesque physical defense that it would probably die to a defensive Flareon, especially in the sun. So, and that's nothing on Mr. Mime. I love Mr. Mime, and it's a key member of this team. But, yeah, your physical defense is terrible. So, we're not going to tempt fate there because the times that I've been taking a chance, I've been getting them all wrong. So, we need to play conservatively, we need to play safely, and yeah, that's just what we need to do. So we have Fred the Floatzel out here against Wilma. I don't think that Waterfall will kill it from there. Granted, he can't burn me with Will-O-Wisp if he hasn't, because I do have Water Veil as my ability, so I'm free to bulk up here. And then we can get an idea on how much this Flare Blitz is going to do at +1 defense. Now, if he is fully offensive, this could kill me. But he is definitely not fully offensive. He's definitely got some bulk going on there. So, I don't think I've hit him with a special attack yet, so I haven't seen how well he would take that. But we're both going to get some HP back via our leftovers. And I could bulk up again, but he could crit me. And then I would cry. I could substitute, which would burn yet another turn of the sun, which could come in handy. Or I could just waterfall and get more lefties recovery, kill this thing, and sub on whatever he goes into. The problem is, if I kill this thing, and that Tropius is chlorophyll, I just lose. I just flat out lose, because I don't really have anything. Yeah, I mean, I've got Ladian if he wants to go for a grass type move, but that will be the end of me. So he is just going to go for Flare Blitz here, as I decided to burn a turn by just setting up a substitute. So yeah, I'm trying as hard as I can to wear out these sun turns, because the sun, it's a problem. It is definitely a problem. It's, you know, boosting a lot of his Pokemon's attacks and activating their abilities, and it's not good for Fred. He doesn't like sun. The sun is too bright for him, and he forgot his sunglasses. In fact, he lost them because he's irresponsible. But we're just going to go for Waterfall here, and that's really my only play at this point. I mean, I guess I could taunt him, but he hasn't gone for any non-attacking move other than Sunny Day, I think. So, and if I lose Fred, I lose. So I have to kill this thing, and I think he's going to go right out into his, what do you call it? His Tropius. Because he knows that I don't know if it is chlorophyll or solar power, and the mind games are real. Although I may, if he goes into Tropius, I may just have to let Fred go. I don't know. Well, maybe I could go into Ladian. Do I really need Ladian for anything? Am I really going to get an opportunity to set up more screens? And I kind of need something that can dish out damage. Yeah, that is not okay. That is not okay. I really need Fred, too, for that Rampardos, because Mr. Mime's Psychic is not going to do enough. And actually, unboosted, I think, actually, maybe even at +1? Was it +1 that I'm thinking of? Thinking of a calc that I did on Rampardos with Floatzel, with this particular Floatzel, when I was testing it on Showdown. I think it may be unboosted. That after Stealth Rock, Waterfall is a roll to kill it that would be in my favor. So I don't know if this battle's going to come down to that. But he's going to go into his Charmeleon. I don't know what this is. I really don't know, other than Solar Power. I'm like positive that it's Solar Power, but I have no idea what set he'd be running. Eviolite, maybe? But what else would you run on this? Scarf, maybe? I mean, if he's Scarf, then I outspeed with my own Scarf. And Mr. Mime can take special attacks kind of okay. I don't know if he's going to go for a fire type attack, though. It's looking like my best option would be to sacrifice Ladian. Which is not necessarily something I want to do, but it's looking like it's the most logical thing for me to do at this point. Ladian is not going to be putting in too much work, and I'm going to need something that can do damage. So he's actually going to go for Ancient Power, because if he's going to kill something, he might as well try to get the boost, I guess. So he has the added benefit of that being 4 times super effective on Ladian, plus the Solar Power boost. So Ladian is gone. And now I can go into Mr. Mime, and if he's Eviolite, I guess he might be able to take a Psychic. But he doesn't have anything else on his team that wants to take a Psychic, because Rampardos will be 2-hit KO'd, and he's not Scarf, so it doesn't matter what set my Mr. Mime is, I would be outspeeding it. So he knows that, so he's not going to switch in his Rampardos. What's his other Pokemon? He's got Tropius. And he didn't bring it in on Floatzel, so it might be Solar Power. 2 Solar Power Pokemon. You know what I'm going to do? I think my best chance of winning, actually, is to Healing Wish. To get Fred back up. I'm going to need it, because Mr. Mime is great for Charmeleon and everything, but it's not going to help me beat that Rampardos, because I have nothing else to switch in. I would have to Focus Blast it, but I'd have to sacrifice something else. And the only other something else I have is Fred, and I feel like I'm going to need Fred for that Rampardos. So I'm going to Healing Wish. I know Mr. Mime's at full health, but this is my only chance of winning. So he's going to make the play of switching in his Tropius to sacrifice it. And actually, oh, he's Solar Power, okay. Oh, okay, I was about to say, if he was Chlorophyll, that was game over right there. Because he was going to outspeed me. I don't have Aqua Jet. That was going to be that. But he is Solar Power, so we're going to burn another turn of Sun here, which is great. We're going to get back to full health. And I could substitute to burn another turn, I guess. But I mean, I outspeed everything on his team at this point. Yeah, I definitely outspeed everything on his team. If he has like Leaf Storm or something, I could sub. But the Sun's got to be getting close to going away soon. It's been a lot of turns. Or at least I feel like it's been a lot of turns. Maybe I'm just making that up. But it feels like it has been. So yeah, this is being a this is being quite a long battle. Does that sentence make sense? No, it does not. This is turning into a very long battle, is what I was trying to say, and you know, it just didn't form correctly in my head, or it didn't come out correctly either. It wasn't right anywhere. It was all left all the time, and that's a terrible way to be. But Tropius is going to go down, so that's nice. And I'm assuming the Rampardos is going to come out here. I'm guessing. I mean, it's a damage roll, so we'll have to see. Have to see what goes on here. And I still don't know what that Charmeleon is, and I have a bad feeling that it's Scarf. And I don't know what his item is either. Well, Choice Scarf is an item, yeah. Alright. Alright, Joe, just try to stop being stupid for 2 seconds, please. So he is going to go out into his Rampardos. We know already this is not Scarf. I know it's Life Orb. He takes a little bit of damage due to the Stealth Rocks, and I think this was the damage roll that I was talking about. I'm pretty sure that this Waterfall has a chance to kill, and it is in my favor. If it doesn't go my way, that is going to be the game, because he's probably going to kill me with a Thunder Punch. Or if I manage to survive that, I think that Charmeleon is Scarfed. I think it is. Man, but still, for all of this to come down to a damage roll right here, because I don't think Charmeleon can kill me in one hit, and Waterfall should kill it from the range that it's at, especially with Stealth Rocks up. So this whole game is going to come down to a damage roll, and I absolutely hate when that happens, but I love it at the same time. It's like a love-hate relationship. For it to come down to that, that usually means that it's been a good battle, and this has. It's been back and forth, although I think my opponent had the upper hand for a larger portion of the battle, and that's in part due to what happened at the beginning with me just not predicting correctly. But we're going to fire off the Waterfall, and he's going to survive with like 2.5 HP. The damage roll does not go our way. It turns out he does not have the Thunder Punch, so we will live here, and he's going to go down to the Life Orb. But he's going to come back in with his, what I'm assuming is Choice Scarf Charmeleon, and finish me off. I mean, if it's Specs, then still, this was a very, very close game. But out comes the Charmeleon. Going to go down to about, what is that, 35% of his max HP. And we'll just click Waterfall again. And he's going to finish me off with a Dragon Pulse. So he is indeed Scarf Charmeleon. So that is going to be a loss for us. Like I said, super unfortunate that it comes down to a damage roll and it stings, especially because the damage roll was in my favor and I still lost it. And I had a chance to flinch him too with the Waterfall and didn't get that. But it happens, and I feel like my opponent played a little bit better in this, not a little bit, a lot of bit better in this battle anyway, so I think he does deserve the win. Kudos to you, my friend Leo/Toad. If you guys see him down in the comment section, please make sure to give him a GG for me, because this was a fun one for sure, although a little bit long, but still fun nonetheless. We're going to have one more battle with this team still, so we still have a chance to see if Farfetch'd can do something other than kill a weakened Volbeat, because let's be real, that was not that impressive. So hopefully Farah gets some more action. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you're leaving a like, rating, or a comment, or whatever you would like to do, and I will see you all next time. And until then, game on.